Yo, once again, it's 007, the James Bond of Wicked Shit. This is the 17 Wayz podcast with my player partner,
Mr. Reef. We got a show
What's
for
up
you
with you?
today. Man,
Wonderful show,
I'm,
man.
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm pretty decent. It's been kind of a hectic morning, as we get older, shit just gets hectic for no reason sometimes. It's like God's playing tricks with you to just make sure that you still got it. But no, everything's all right, man. It's been a pretty decent week so far. I mean, I worked my motherfucking ass off as usual. Had some strange events out at locations. I feel like the aliens might actually be here, bro. I feel like they might be here.
Which aliens?
Extraterrestrials, man. Out in some of these locations I work at, they're very remote and very like desolate areas where there is like next to nothing, and I'm usually out. And one night I was out there, and I seen a green and yellow light beaming from the ground, but being that I'm not brave like that, I didn't want to go check it out. I just got the fuck up out of there. But I just assumed it was aliens, and they made their arrival, and they're going to take over the state of Colorado soon.
Wow. I hope they're the good aliens, like E.T.
I don't know, man. I kind of think of aliens kind of like chimpanzees. Like, they look cool and nice and shit, but they can just rip your arm off in one fucking...
I don't trust chimpanzees. I can just look at them. I don't trust them.
Nigga, I barely trust other humans, let alone a chimpanzee.
I feel like I can tell what's going on in their head, and it's not good.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, I recently watched a video on Reddit of some dude fucking with an orangutan. And let me tell you how this orangutan had snatched this dude up 100 ways till Sunday, bro. He had him by his shirt, his leg, his arm, his hand. Like, bro, like if the dude didn't come get him, like someone didn't come save him, bro, he would have been toast. And he wasn't even inside the cage. He was on the other side of the cage of the orangutan, and he was all snatched up and couldn't do nothing about it. So once I seen some shit like that, like, yeah, I know I'm a bigger dude and I'm pretty strong too, but I don't think I have the same thought process that an orangutan has. They think different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They see things differently.
People think, oh, humans are so bad, animals are so much better. I don't know about these apes, man. They got the same sickness we do.
Exactly. I mean, I see, I don't, but see, this is the thing though. A lot of people, I guess this comes from Darwinism, but when I look at monkeys, I don't necessarily see us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I don't either. But there's like certain animals you can look at, like apes are up there. I don't know, goats, they got weird eyes.
Yeah, goats are strange, very strange.
I don't even know what to think about certain reptiles.
Yeah, I was just about to say alligators, bro. They look crazy, fam. Like, I'm gonna be real, bro. I'm scared of alligators, and luckily, I don't live anywhere where alligators cohabitate with civilians and shit. Because, man, I tell you what, bro, if an alligator grabbed my motherfucking dog, nigga, boy, I would dedicate my life to becoming fucking Crocodile Dundee in this bitch. Like, man, every alligator in the U.S. would be Boots by the time I'm done. Because I've seen videos, bro, like people, you live in Florida, bro, you better have your dog fucking leash, bro. You better not be walking by no fucking body of water on the phone, drinking coffee or your chai or whatever the fuck you're doing. Like, man, that's just crazy, fam. I don't know what I would do. But
Do you remember Wally Gator?
No.
No, he's a Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Oh yeah, okay. I was about to say I was thinking of.
It's been a while, so I think of Wally Gator, and I'm like, was he just kind of a knockoff Huckleberry Hound or Snagglepuss? I guess they're all kind of similar. No, Huckleberry was
they
like
all
real
have.
sleepy all the time. Snagglepuss was a smartass.
Yeah, the way he talked too, I love that. He's one of my favorite cartoons.
I guess I don't really remember Wally Gator too much. Anyway,
I wasn't really a big like. Of course, that's kind of like all we had at that time was. Well, we didn't. That's not all we really had, but like I was more of a straight like Looney Tunes kid. You know, like give me my and then Transformers and shit like that. That was my shit. You know what I mean? Like, and then the Power Rangers came out, nigga. That was my shit.
I remember when Power Rangers came out and all the kids loved them, and I think I didn't like them as much because maybe I didn't get that channel. Like it was on Fox, and I only had PBS.
Yeah, Fox. Oh, you only had PBS?
Yeah, and so the kids are talking about Power Rangers. I'm like, that's not that cool.
Well, I'm gonna keep it G with you though. Like my Power Rangers phase only lasted for like maybe that first season because it quickly turned into some nerd shit real quick. Like people would get like it was next to watching Barney, bro. Like it was like the same kids that would get picked on for watching Barney or the same kids would get picked on for watching Power Rangers.
I think I remember the first season, and then the second season maybe. I'm assuming it's the second season, had a new villain with the guy didn't have any skin, and Rita was like stuck in a box or something. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't really get into that show.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it was a different. I kind of missed that era just because you could tell they worked a little harder on plots and synopsis. Nowadays, these kid shows they're not really even kid shows, bro. Like they're like semi-adult shows at the same time. Like the subject matter is crazy, man. Like what did I see the other day? Like I think I was watching Gumball or what? Do you know what Gumball is? What the amazing Gumball? What is that shit called?
I'm not gonna know a lot. Was that the Gumball guy? Is that the guy from? Was it not Adventure Time? Yeah, Adventure Time.
Yeah,
no, the regular show. No, the regular show. Regular show had the guy with the gumball head. Yeah. See, I never seen Adventure Show, but I like it's in the same part of my head. Like the only reason I know about regular show is somebody made me watch it. That is a pretty good show, though.
It is. It's funny, but a while back I was like, damn, like kids should not be really. I mean, it's a kid's show, but it's not at the same time. Like, there's a lot of innuendos in there that I caught pretty quick. Like, oh, and I wasn't even watching. I was in the kitchen. I was like, what did that motherfucker just say? Oh, hell no. Well, I mean, back in the day, even when SpongeBob came out, bro, like, now that I rewatched SpongeBob, I noticed a lot of the innuendos and shit in there, and it's fucking hilarious. I was like, damn, like my little sister was a huge fan when that shit came out. But yeah, anyway, today we are going to be reviewing the classic album, man. Say right now, this is like, as far as Blaze Your Dead Homie goes, this is his best album. Colton Grundy, The Undying. One of his best albums. Yeah, man, I can go on for days.
Yeah, I put it up there almost right next to One Less G. That's that's probably always going to be my favorite Blaze album. But this one's right up there. It's more of a
See,
hip hop album.
yeah,
The
it's
Colton
a,
Grundy one.
like I was saying. Yeah, I think I might have put it even in the Discord, maybe, or maybe in one of our private conversations. To me, it was like a real gangster rap album. It wasn't just like some, there's elements of horrorcore in it, of course, with him being the dead homie, the undying, the son of Solomon or whatever. Those elements were there, but overall, the album had like a gangster. I don't even want to call it like a G-funk sound because it wasn't necessarily that, but it was definitely gangster. It was gangster as fuck though. Like, as far as
it's music for people who listen to the kind of rap.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
It
like
was like for at the time I felt like it was. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I couldn't know because the beats are different. Like the beats are definitely more almost like alternative.
Yeah,
but it's all based on that same kind of G-funk feel.
yeah. There's elements. I guess there's just more elements of G-funk rather than it being an 100% G-funk album.
Mm-hmm.
Because like back then, like the homies that weren't into anything psychopathic, bro, like I could play that and they wouldn't know, they couldn't tell the difference for real, except for when it got to like certain little parts. But the shit was so good to them, they liked it so much that they overlooked those little, little small little excerpts that they heard that might have sounded weird to them. Like, yeah, no, like this album was a very big part of a time in my life when, we were living up to that stereotype of being products of our environment. And at the time just didn't know no better. But Blaze was like, when this shit came out, I felt even more. I mean, on One Less G, I felt it, but on this album, it solidified it even more. Like, damn, this shit is for juggalos like me that have that come from a real street background, but also have, loyalty to this juggalo shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like it was like, I felt like Violent J was thinking of, ninjas that are really in the street and, that they need something to vibe to. It can't always be circus music and, Twisted's teenage depression music. So I finally found, like, of course, like I said, man, the clowns are always going to be, the top of the cream of the crop for me. But, I had finally found something that was like, oh, okay, this is it right here. I mean, but later on though, I kind of fell off on Blaze, a couple albums after that. So
yeah,
it's a very, very important album, and I am actually very happy to review it. I don't really see too much press on this album at all. I mean, unless I'm looking in the wrong places.
it's sad. I feel like Blaze has been forgotten pretty much entirely, unless it's like old school juggalos talking about One Less G. People don't talk about Blaze as much, and he was always one of my favorites.
Yeah, no, he became my favorite. At first, I couldn't. I kind of looked at it a little different because it was like, are they trying to make this? Are they trying to make him come off like he's black, or because in the beginning you didn't know what the fuck he was? You know what I'm saying? Like I really believed that he was black, bro. Like seriously. Not that really even matters, but at the time, taking you back into my juvenile mindset, that's what I equated it to. Like, oh shit, they got another black artist, but eventually it came out relatively quick that he was not
Mhm.
black. But that actually made me like him even more. That he was,
Wait. What? You're telling me he's not black? What?
no,
Oh,
no.
you just blew my mind, man.
Damn, I thought. Well, I mean, I actually found out that he was West Indian, so I think he might be Haitian. I
Okay.
think I think that's what Violent J said on one of those interviews that he was. I think he said like, yeah, I'm signing this new Haitian artist. He's gonna be our gangster rap act. But I still don't know how to feel though. In the beginning, that nigga Blaze was wearing lipstick.
He still wears lipstick.
Oh, he does still wear lipstick. I don't care if it's
Yeah.
black.
He's got black lipstick.
Hey, it's not as
That's
bad
it.
though.
That's his entire gimmick. He wears lipstick,
He's a dead
and he
gangster
happens to
with
be dead.
lipstick. So I think I know why his homies killed him, man. Because I think my homies would look at me different if I came up on the block wearing some black lipstick. I
You
don't know,
know,
man.
there's all kinds of different theories. He's like a comic book character, and then there's all different kinds of ways of how he became the dead man
Yeah,
and what that
yeah,
means.
yeah, and that's the thing too. That's another part of his gimmick that I have always said was kind of watered down. Like, okay, so you're giving him this gangster image. I understand the Raiders gear, but y'all are from Detroit. What the fuck do the Raiders got to do with y'all? And then also, because you're talking to a California ninja right here. That's me. So I was like, Raider, like, is he from California or something? Or is he from LA? I mean, at that time, the Raiders were still kind of early being back in Oakland. I think
Mhm.
they went back to Oakland in '94. So in that little time frame, from 94 to 2000, for how long that they were in LA, So I still considered that like their little grace period because they weren't doing nothing for a while. But then the clock, I never understood the clock. I know they're paying homage to Public Enemy,
Yeah.
but it just didn't gel with me because Public Enemy is not gangster rap. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't get it, man. Like I think the Raiders jersey, some Lokes, and a cap, a ball cap would have sufficed. But we got the clock with it too. So
Well, if you think about it, if you're dead, but you're still walking around, it's like you're stuck in time, man. It's like time has stopped for you, and you'll always be that age when you
yeah,
die.
that's it.
I
But
mean,
why
has anybody seen any recent photos of Blaze?
I don't think he wears a clock anymore. But he's not
Maybe
the
on
same
maybe
age.
on this recent tour. But yeah,
I
no,
mean,
he's not the same age. You can see it.
yeah, no, he's kind of wrinkly, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, man,
Yeah.
all the motherfuckers are wrinkly under that paint, and
Yep,
it sucks because paint really does pronounce that shit. They may think
it
that it
does.
hides it or something, but bro, they look like a piece of like some leather when it gets old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like the
no,
little
not white paint.
little, not the white paint. You can see that shit, boy.
They
Look
look
like
like it looks like shoes,
yeah.
white shoes
Oh,
that you wore for a couple of years.
them niggas look like an old pair. They look like an old pair of Air Force Ones, like just wrinkled. Look like like when you crease your shit so bad. Like, man, that's terrible. They need to do something, man. It's for real, man. They look like vinyl. Like they look like some straight vinyl wrap that just went bad. That's sun damaged and shit. But hey, at the end of the day, they're old, and part of me, like I think I've told you this before. Like part of me back in the day, like I never of them ever really getting old. Like I don't know where that comes from, or if that's like natural human nature to think of your heroes as um, immortal, I guess. But now I
Mm.
have I am grounded in reality, and I know that they're old, and they will expire one day. But back in the day, I just looked at them like, damn, man, like they're gonna be around forever. They ain't never getting old. And then, I mean, some have aged better than others. I mean, I would like to go on and just go ahead and say that Shaggy probably, and he was acting up back in the day, but he's probably aged the best out of all of them, I think.
Oh, he's got himself sober now. I believe that just by paying attention to his videos and stuff.
No, he's definitely sober for sure. Like, and I think he stopped at the right moment because that drinking really will put fucking years on you. It will age you like a motherfucker, man. You start getting that rosacea, that big fucking alcoholic nose, with all the dimples and blackheads on it and shit. Like it's the nose, the alcoholic.
Yeah,
nose.
the nose, exactly, like the big.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
big old bell
gets all big old round thing. Yeah, like a pepper.
Bulbous. Oh man, that's fucking gross. Yeah, just
turnip.
Big bulbous. A turnip. It's got a big old eggplant on his face, man. And then sometimes that shit turns fucking. It does turn purple and all kinds of interesting colors, man. That's a good thing. I'm glad I quit drinking. I don't know. I've never actually. You know what? I can't even say that because I have seen black people with those big alky noses before. So yeah, we're no one's safe from the alky nose. So you hear that out there, people. Don't drink too much or you'll get a big ass nose with all kinds of craters and shit in it. You won't even be able to see your feet because your nose is in the way. Yeah, man. You want to get into your the song of the week?
So this week I picked the Daniel Jordan song "No Friends." I think it just came up randomly on shuffle or something, and I thought this would be a perfect track to get people to listen to if they don't know Daniel Jordan. He has a certain kind of very personal, open style where he talks about his demons, like real life demons. Like he's not really horrorcore at all overall. He kind of started out kind of scary, satanic style, but he just talks about rough stuff in life. Which when I first heard him, I didn't really understand that. I thought, what's this white guy doing rapping with Esham? He kind of reminded me of like Jump Steady a little bit because I don't know, he just sounds kind of super white. But I listened to him again. Sound. I think Daniel Jordan's from California, actually.
I thought he was from Michigan this whole time. Real shit.
Really?
Yeah,
I might be wrong, but no, I'm pretty sure he's from California. But yeah, I really appreciate him now. He's one of my favorite people to listen to. Just to hear some just kind of heavy stuff. He talks about heavy stuff.
Yeah.
In detail.
I definitely feel that.
Clear, vivid rhymes. So if you want to play a minute or two.
Yeah, for sure. I'll do that. I'm getting on that right now, brother. So this is Daniel Jordan, No Friends. Check it out when you get a chance. Put it on your playlist.
Down with your scene, I ain't a part of your clique, cause everyone in the game's just riding up on each other's dick. A bunch of bitches take pictures and shake hands. Don't trust none of these snakes, they're all fake friends. And 90% of the game's all bullshit. Fools name dropping people that they ain't even cool with. And local acts are just 4 or 5 bitches get you minutes on stage. If you slang tickets, you're a warm-up. No one gives a fuck. Don't hand me a demo. I threw your bullshit tracks out the passenger window. A lot of these rappers are closet homosexuals. They got in the game for the fame and to stand next to you, a male groupie. And I think that you'd rather fuck me. You jealous cause bitches got pussies and you think they lucky. Fuck your backstage admission and pass. If I respect you, it's cool, but don't think I'm kissing your ass. No friends, I ain't got no friends. No friends, no friends, I ain't got no friends. No friends, no friends, I ain't got no friends. And I don't need nobody to justify who I am. No friends, I ain't got no friends. No friends, I ain't got no friends. No friends, I ain't got no friends. And I don't need nobody to justify who I am. Fuck the underground, I ain't got no love for it cause everybody.
Yeah.
That's just, hey, I'm really feeling that. And you know what's crazy? Yeah, now I see. Now that I listen to it, like, he does have a very jump steady kind of cadence, you know, the way they kind of, like, I don't know what you would call it, the way they kind of enunciate, like, those last, the last word of the bar, you know, like, he definitely has some jump steadyism, but I really like his style. It's not necessarily unorthodox, but it's
No, it's kind of an old school.
Yeah,
it's an
very
old school kind of flow, but just the way he can talk about things so openly and vividly, and he's very blunt with his lyrics, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
A lot of times people throw in metaphors and all kinds of stuff, turns of phrases, and he just says stuff directly. And I feel like someone who writes songs myself, I don't do enough of that, and so I listen to that and I go, that takes some guts to just rap exactly what you think.
And you know, for me, I'm coming in with the cool criticism here. A lot of us underground artists, you know, and I say us because I used to be one, you know, not on the level of, you know, a lot of these guys who have really dedicated themselves to it. But I'll say, man, like, we tend to gripe a lot about being underground, you know. We'll turn around and say, yeah, this is what we want to be, but we gripe and we bitch and moan about the scene and what's not happening and how come we're not getting these kind of props and how come this, that, and the third, how come I'm still being an opening act. And, you know, my overall mind state and mentality has always been, shit, you want something, you go and get that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're tired of being the fucking opening act or a warm-up, as he said, then do something about it. You know what I'm saying? There's other alternatives. We're in the age now. We have a lot of shit at our disposal, man, as far as this internet shit goes. That's not all it takes, but you can utilize the shit out of it, make your own fan base, and start putting on your own shows. Become 100% self-sufficient. Fuck opening up for. You're not even opening up for Tech Nine. You're opening up for Chris Calico or Cut Calhoun or one of them other side little. And I'm not saying that they're little guys in the game or anything, but man, fuck all that. The way I see it, I'm like, look, man, if I'm not opening for Tech, then I'm definitely not going to open up for one of his side project people that are, you know, they don't even draw that big of a crowd, and that's no hate to them, but hey, nigga, that's the truth, bro. I can't sit up here and sugarcoat and try to, you know, kiss ass just because the mob is gonna come. Man, miss me with that bullshit. But I don't know. I get a sense of, you know, crybaby coming from his direction.
Yeah, maybe on this track he's talking about, you know, fake people in the industry, but
yeah, and that's something that's always been discussed, bro. Think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I just picked this track because, you know, it sounds good and you can hear his style on it.
Oh yeah, no.
You remember the track he made a couple years ago with Esham, It was a magical thinking. It was a really cool video too.
Yeah.
That would have been
That's
another
how.
good one to pick.
Yeah,
But
that
this is
no,
the
and
one.
see that's
This
the
is the
thing.
one that like popped up on my playlist this week, and I thought,
Yeah, and no, I'm not shitting on your pick. It's because it's I guess that was my kind of rant about the underground hip hop scene because he's definitely not the only one that does that shit for sure. You know what I'm saying?
oh
Like
yeah,
shit, even Tech Nine still does it, bro, and he's he's at the most popular he's ever been, and Tech Nine is still crying about not getting this, that, and the third, and how like, bro, miss me with it. I don't want to hear it, man. Like, but no, it's a good song, and I think the production, the production on the song actually kind of reminds me of like early 2000s Def Jux, like Aesop Rock shit. Like I like the
yeah.
production on that, man, for sure. Like very East Coast sounding, very gloomy, snowy day sounding. I really fuck with it. It's a great
And
song.
that horn sample kind of reminded me of something that Esham would use around 15 years ago.
And see, the thing is too, I was kind of thinking like just the way the drum pattern sounds, that sounds like a very Esham drum pattern. Like I need to look in and
Yeah,
see it. Do you think Esham produced this shit?
it's possible. This was at the time when Esham was like he signed Daniel Jordan or something. So it's possible
Yeah.
that he got some Esham beats. I didn't really even look into that.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be an Esham beat, or maybe they collaborated together and produced it together. But the drums, some of the way the sample, the way they pick the samples, sounds like some very Esham thing to do. And
Yeah.
if that is the case, man, Esham was definitely in his bag. I wish he would bring some shit out like that today. Like if we could just get a regular, Esham album that's not experimental or psychedelic, or can I just get some Esham that I could ride around and bump? You know what I'm saying? Can I please get that? But that's me just crying. I can't always have things my way.
Yeah, you never know. You never know what he's gonna do.
Yeah, he's full of surprises. It's one thing you gotta love about him. But yes, this was Daniel Jordan. I'll make sure to put a link in the description or pin it in the comments. You guys can go check it out. Or you can, while we have it up, you can go ahead and type it in, add it to your playlist as we go. But we're going to start getting into the meat and potatoes of this Colton Grundy, man. Blaze Your Dead Homie, 2004.
Yes.
Do you have any specific memories about this album?
I remember it came out during the first year that I was in college. So I remember doing the laundry at the college dorm, listening to listening to this album.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I got too many fucking memories, man. Like, yeah, it goes from riding around smoking weed. Of course, I'll get into my shit as we get deeper into the album because
Yeah,
we'll
have plenty of time for
around.
that.
Yeah, we'll fuck around and not even play the album because I got so much shit to say about it.
Yeah. So as far as this album goes, I only listened to Clockwork Gray a couple of times in the past couple of years. I want to say that one was almost as good as this one, just going by memory. But once he hit that was a Gang Rags album, that's when everything started getting weird. They started messing with the style. Violent J wrote half the raps on that album, and it's like Violent J isn't Blaze's lyric writer. That's James' job.
No. See, and that's the thing, though. So, are we saying that Blaze needs a writer?
It kind of seems that way.
That's and and I hate to admit it, but I think you're right, man, because Jay really, put his foot in the first album, the EP and the album, along with Jamie too. Like they basically came together.
It was a lot of Jamie and Paul on One Less G. Violent J, he was it just seemed like he was in the studio all the time.
Yeah, I think, and as far as artist development goes, because you got to think, man, Jay is a very, as far as gimmicks go and shit, man, and I think it all comes from, wrestling, man, but developing these gimmicks that will stick. And Jay wasn't lazy about it. I mean, I make fun of Jay because like the way he develops characters is kind of funny to me. Like, well, don't put lipstick on a dude that's supposed to be a gangster. So, are you there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you see me now?
Yeah, I can see you. That shit started looking like some. It just started looking like the internet, basically. But anyway, yeah, no, Jay is a fucking genius. So they had a solid fucking team. So Jay would think of the gimmicks, and then they had Paul and Jamie doing most of the production with Fritz and all the writing. So Blaze had it made in those early days, man. He was set up for success. I just don't think that Psychopathic was in the place to actually develop artists 100%. Actually get them pushed out there.
Yeah.
I think if they would have pushed Blaze, I don't know. Go
ahead. They messed up his. They were just playing too much with his whole concept, his feel, his vibe. Yeah. The vibe on his first album or his first EP was more like this one, and then on One Less G, it became more about more guitars. We're putting more guitars on it, and it's going to be more weird stuff like, haha, I'm nasty, and here come the maggots. And then on this one was more like the first EP where it's just more gangster.
Yep.
Exactly.
And that's I think you're right. That's why One Less G to me, it's a classic, but it just didn't resonate as hard with me like the EP and this album did. I think if they would have just stuck to his gangster image, I think he'd be a lot more successful today. People do love him. He does have a cult following. But I think he'd be right up there with Twisted, him and ABK, as a matter of fact. If they would have just kept them.
Oh, yeah.
If ABK, or we'll call them Drive-By as a group, if they would have just kept them as and gave them the gangster look, the gangster sound from day one, like, bro, Hatchet Warrior is a fucking classic. That's how you do a debut album. You know what I'm saying? As far as a psychopathic gangster rapper, they had it right with Blaze at the EP, but then went to One Less G and let me make it sound more like a psychopathic album and add these guitars. If guitars is what makes it sound like it's psychopathic, then goddamn.
Well, Hatchet Warrior had a lot of guitars too. Well, actually, only a few tracks. Come to think of it.
Only a few tracks. It wasn't like that, because I know that's another album that I was bumping tough. But yeah, let's get into the track listing. We just missed Bump This Shit and The Touch of Death, and then we're starting to get. This is one of my favorite songs off this album is Shotgun, dude. This is one of the most gangster shit, like gangster beats that I had heard from Psychopathic at the time. Like, this didn't even sound like it came from Psychopathic, bro, or had anything to do with ICP, bro. Like this didn't sound like anything that ICP had put out. I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, and Jamie on the chorus is just explosive.
Yeah, he did his fucking thing, bro. Like, and then hey, man, we got our boy on here, Esham, man. He definitely
kills it
on here.
He's got
My
a
nigga
he's got a
ABK.
good. Yeah, he's everybody's great on this track. This is a perfect track. Probably my favorite track on the album. I used to play
Yeah,
this like
man.
on
See,
repeat,
it's so
basically.
hard. Bro, we all did, man. Like
And
I
I think it
swear it's so hard for me to it's hard for me to believe that there's juggalos that do not like this album. I mean, it's so hard for me to wrap my mind around that shit.
they
But go ahead, bro.
they
Sorry to
probably just
shed light on
didn't
that.
listen to it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like,
mean,
bro.
any juggalos that don't like this album, I imagine most of them just didn't listen to it because every track is real solid. And
Yeah.
at that point, not every album coming out that year was all that solid. There was Hell's Pit, and that was good. But then there was Cryptic
Uh-huh.
Collection 3. That was just kind of a collection of mostly throwaways. And then Monoxide had his album this year, and it was not that good at
It was
all.
lackluster. There's only
And then
like
there was Dirty History.
the first track off there. Yeah, Dirty History was decent.
That was
You know what I'm
good,
saying?
but I feel like that one that had some weird branding issues. Like it had the cover with the kids on it. I don't know.
Yeah,
like some of the graphics at that point.
Yeah, I still couldn't. Even this cover for Colton Grundy, bro. Like it's not even all that, bro. Let's keep it G. Like okay, he looks like a mummy. Like I don't get it. I mean, the
At
album
least
is
it's not a cartoon.
shit. I don't know, man. I mean,
it looks all
you're
right
right
to me.
about that Dirty History. Okay, a mummy with red eyes. I mean, that's what it looks like. But hey,
I don't know that. I'm favorable towards it. I think it's one of his better ones.
I think for me, it's favorable because all the memories I have with the album. You know, like even the disc. You know, I could still see the disc in my mind, and this is one release I don't have, and it's actually hard to find at the moment. If you can find me a copy, let me know so I can buy it.
If I see it, I'll keep it for you.
Yeah, man, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Or if any jugglers there that don't like this album but you own it, hit me up. I'll buy it. Not right now though, because the nigga kind of broke. But just get with me. Etched Out, man. What do you think about this song right here, man? What is your opinion on this bad boy?
This beat is crazy. This beat is out of this world.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So
and the hook is great.
Like, dude, I swear, like, it's hard for me to do this review and talk at the same time because I get caught up in the music. That's how much I fuck with this album, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this shit takes me back, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so it came out. What's the Yeah, so summer 05, man. I think we might have listened to this album for 2 years, honestly. Real shit. Like, that's how popular and tight it was to us. Because summer 05, bro, like I took you back the other day in one of our private conversations, man. Like, I could paint the picture right now, man. It's summertime.
Actually, go ahead and start explaining all that stuff you were explaining to me, and I'm going to fix this connection issue real fast, okay?
All right, brother. Yeah, man. So let me paint the picture for you, man. Summer 05, it's nice out, man. Me and the homie Dan, we were in big, man. We didn't know what was ahead of us, man, but you know, we ended up getting in some high-powered beef with another crew up the street. You know what I'm saying? It started with fist fights and all that shit, and eventually escalated. But one of my biggest memories is sitting up in his room, man, with the window open. It's hot. He had one speaker, one tower speaker, like old school, like we grew up with. Had like the 12 on the bottom and then the tweeter and then the mid-range. And I think we were playing this off of a PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? And we'd be in there smoking weed and you know, we'd just be vibing out, man. This was one of the biggest albums of that year. Like, you could damn near smell the Reggie weed. I could damn near smell the Reggie weed in the air right now, that brick weed, like, and it's hot, you know what I'm saying? The draft coming in from the window. He lived right next to a train, so every time the train came, the whole house would rattle, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then it became like, bro, we're listening to this album while we're loading up clips, about to go do some dirt, you know? Um, thank God, you know, thank God that I actually made it out of that situation and out of that era alive. I'm here reviewing this album with you because at that time, bro, like, we really didn't know. We really, like, because, bro, life was that hectic, bro, between the cops and rivals, you know, enemies, adversaries, like, we didn't know which way
That's
we were
no way to
going, you know what I'm
live.
saying? Like, yeah,
That's
it's no
no
way
way
to
to
live
live.
at all. And, you know, especially, I will say this, man, if there's any youngsters watching this shit right now, man, I'm not trying to preach to you, but I'll let you know real quick. Shit's definitely different than it was back then, man. Motherfuckers are not trying to fight you. They will shoot you. They will kill you. And I'm a product of that. I've been hit. So be careful out there, man. Do what you want. Make your own decisions. But this street shit do get ugly. But it was a major part of my life, and I never will neglect it or try to act like I'm holier than thou, man. But this is coming from the ideology of what they call it, a thuggalo. What we were talking about on Discord last night, man. No, I'm just a street juggler. I'm a juggler that came from the streets, man. I'm a gangster that so happened to, you know, be a juggler. I mean, I'm a juggler that so happened to be entangled in gangster shit at one point in my life, man. And people find it hard to wrap their mind around that for some reason. I don't know why that is, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, to each their own.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah,
I mean,
bro,
all
this is
the
a badass album right here.
this is one of those beats that was like the last track too. I remember listening to the sampler before this album came out. There was like a little MP3 that they put out, and I noticed that the beats were different this time. And at first, because I heard like more, you know, like songs directed at chicks, you know, like, you know, we're gonna party, and, you know, like this track, Hey You. That was
this was different. This was different
it
for
was different
Psychopathic, bro.
at the
Very
time.
different. This is actually very like at
the
time, yes, bro. Like,
he ended up having more tracks like that on the original version of Gang Rags that got scrapped. And then Violent J came in. Yeah. It's called Gang Rags. There's like 3 different versions of that album.
Yeah, there is.
Which is crazy. Sure. There's like the original one that they wanted to make, and then they had like the Violent J version, and they have like a remix of the one that they wanted to make.
Yeah.
And the original one that they want to make, I think it was the best one. And it had like the right kinds of beats on it, and it had different kinds of tracks, like, you know, like this one, like Hey You, where it's, you know, we're gonna drink and we're gonna fuck and you know, stuff like that. And then they went and remixed it, and the beats don't sound right. It sounds like all outer space, which is kind of what Blaze sounds like. Like Blaze is using all these like weird outer space beats now, which is fine for other artists, but for me, Blaze shouldn't have that kind of feel. Like, I wonder, Blaze was always great because he had like the gangster beats.
Yeah, and he actually had a gangster persona. Unless this shit was all an act, and the whole time he just wanted to be an outer space rapper, we don't know. But as far as the shit he talks about, as far as subject matter, like, he has to know something about the streets, bro. Like, he was using words that nobody on the Psychopathic roster used at that time, talking about banana clips and a chopper, bro. Like, that is some street shit, bro. Like, nigga, I've never heard not one of them on Psychopathic ever mention a chopper with a banana clip in it. You know, they do talk about guns sometimes, but you know, it was just there's a lot of lingo in here as far as folks, like dead folks. So for education purposes, have you ever heard the term folks before?
I mean, what are you talking about?
Like folks. So slang terminology, folks is another word for pimp. So if you're talking to a prostitute or a hoe or whatever, she might say something like, "Oh, my folks is up the street." She's basically saying my pimp, my man is up the street. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
so he used a lot of different terminology on here that I was able to pick up on when I was young. I was like, that's kind of, in a sense, it kind of gave him credibility to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's something I've always gave to Twisted too. I know they're really bitches, but like they are from the east side of Detroit at the end of the day, and they have been around some reputable people, you know what I'm saying, that give them some sort of street credibility at the end of the day. But Blaze was
you can tell they were growing up around it, all of them.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Twisted a little bit more than ICP, but like I've told you before, ICP actually does have. I mean, they might make fun of their little inner city posse gang all the time and try to make it seem like they're not, like they weren't this or that, but they were actually out there making a name for themselves, and you know, I think they just didn't want to glorify the gang aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Which I respect too. I really do respect. But then they turn around and come out with the Ringmaster, which represents gang harmony. But anyway, that's another story. But out the gate. So we're on out the gate now. Unless you had anything more to say about Hey You.
Nope.
Let me see you check that ass and break your hip for me. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, this album is fire, bro. I was actually just as we were talking about Hey You, bro. Like, sorry, we're talking over each other, brother.
Yeah, sorry.
Keep going. You're good. No, I'm just saying, like, this is an album, like, this is one of the rare albums that I can actually listen to top to bottom without skipping nothing.
And you know, that ties in with what I was going to say. All the choruses on this album sound good. Like they're not just you know, somebody rapping the chorus. Like they're chanting. Yeah. There's something catchy about all the choruses on this album. But I will say the song titles on this album don't always make sense to me. Like if you just told me the name of the track, I wouldn't be able to think of the song, but all the songs are memorable. Like if you started playing it, it's like, oh yeah, that's that track.
Yeah, exactly. Like, see, that's why, you know, like, yeah, a lot of these, well, actually, I don't know, man. The titles of these songs, like, all right, this is one, like, out the gate that I wouldn't be able to just be like, oh yeah, that's out the gate. But if you started playing it, I would know exactly what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I definitely agree with you on that aspect of it, man. I do notice too. Yeah, there are features on this album, but as far as like the big dogs like Jay and Shags, they kind of let Blaze and like Twisted kind of just do their thing, man. Like there are appearances and shit.
Twisted is only on 2 tracks.
Yeah.
And then Violent J is on 2 tracks. Esham is on 2 tracks. It really does feel like it's mostly Blaze. And most of the tracks that have features, Blaze has more than 1 verse on. So this is really a Blaze album.
Yep, they really wanted to let him breathe because on One Less G, I feel like, you know, they kind of had the training wheels on for him. You know, they didn't let him they didn't really let him breathe that much. So I think, it was about time for him to show and prove that he can hold down an album on his own. And this isn't really a short album either. That, you know, and it goes to say too, like this is like I said, it's one of the albums I can listen to from top to bottom. So it seems short when I play it, but it's really a lengthy album. You know what I'm saying? Like I can. You know, that's the way any good album is like that, bro. It's over before you know it because you like it that much.
Exactly.
Life in the city is out of control. Nigga, this was my shit back in the day, bro. God damn, man. I'm just getting it, man. This just takes me down memory lane, man. Like life in the city is out of control, man. Like sticky hand. This song right here, bro. Like it. Another one that was a theme song. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine, bro. I'm riding a stolen 10 speed that I got from a crackhead for a fucking 10 piece with this shit in my Walkman. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
patrolling the block, looking for enemies, doing rascal shit. You know what I'm saying? And then big homie pick us up, man. I'm popping this. Like it would continue, like from whatever mission I was on. You know what I'm saying? Like from the bike, I hop in the big homie's car, pop it in the CD player. We're smoking weed, riding around. You know what I'm saying? Like this was something else, man. This also reminds me of my homeboy Cody Dale, man. Like that was my partner, man. He was like my refuge from the street shit at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like he was a white boy from the suburbs, and he was actually, trying to get into this rap shit, man. And whatever it was, he thought I was dope, so he'd come kidnap me from the hood, and we'd go to his house and start fucking with the studio shit. And this is another album that inspired us, man. Like Cody tried his hardest, man. He tried his hardest to sound like Blaze, and I can't even knock him for it because at the time we were so young that we wanted to implement certain sounds, that would eventually develop us as artists of our own. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, I keep getting off into the weeds. I just think of so many things when listening to this album, man.
I mean, yeah, just anything that you think of, just say it. Now, I did want to bring up the production on this album. A lot of it is ROC, and a lot of it is Lavelle, and the
Really?
rest of it is Fritz. Yeah, ROC has a few beats on this album, and Lavelle has a few beats, like at least two each.
Yeah. See, and but I can tell right now that this album had to be mixed by Fritz at least because it
Exactly.
has a very Fritz sound. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he doctored up a couple things, to give it more of a cohesive type of feel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Exactly. You're exactly right. It does have
this is
like
one of my
that Fritz touch to it.
yeah, a very Fritz, like the way his bass sounds. That bass that you don't like. You know what I'm saying? There's a good
It
There's a good
sounds good on
example
this
on this
album,
song.
though.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah,
really good. I don't. Were they work? Do you know if they're working at the Lotus Palette during this album?
they should have been. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I know Twisted like to outsource and go work at the disc still. And there is a Fritz interview that Juggalo Rewind did, and Fritz said that Violent J got mad at him, so he couldn't work at the Lotus Pod for a while. So that's why I kind of contemplate whether this was recorded at the Lotus Pod or not.
Oh well, I don't actually know for sure. Now, if I remember correctly, this track in particular had like three different producers, which is funny. Three or
Well,
four.
probably Fritz, Lavelle, ROC all together. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm surprised Esham
like
doesn't have any production credits on this
not on this one now.
because he was there at the time. He was on Psychopathic at the time, so that's kind of strange. And he kind of put his hand on everything that was coming out at that time, almost just about.
Well, that year he was working on Hell's Pit a lot. About
Yeah,
half
he
of
was,
Hell's Pit is Esham.
which explains a lot. Which explains quite a bit. Hell's Pit is a great album, and it gets shit on a lot. But I guess I kind of see it, man. I think they kind of strayed away from. I think they should have just let Esham do the whole shit rather than just outsource. I think it would have sounded a lot better if they just stuck to one producer, whether that
Yeah.
be Fritz or whether that be Isham, you know.
Well, I think they still wanted Mike P on a few tracks. I don't know if Mike P was like asking for more money or something. But yeah, they got Fritz, Mike P, and Isham doing the music on Hell's Pit, and it doesn't sound cohesive like Shangri-La did.
Yeah,
But
no, it's kind of all over the place, man. Like it doesn't really stick to one vibe. You know, that's Hell's Pit though. We'll get to that eventually because I definitely do
yeah,
want to talk about that album. Oh man, hey man, I like how it fades into this song right here. This is, see, I keep saying every song is my favorite, but goddamn, like this probably
it's
is
one of
it
those
right
albums. It's one of those
here.
albums. Every track is just kind of magical.
Yeah, man, like this shit reminds me of summertime. I could see it in my mind right now. I could see us chilling at the top of the hill, smoking a beanie, watching the sunset type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like talking about what we gonna do tonight, man. Like let's hook up with some bitches. Let's go to the liquor store. Let's go do a beer run or something. Like the days of my neighborhood, man. Like this song is so self-explanatory, man. That yeah, like dude, I got to get me a physical of this album, man. Like I'm surprised. Well, the copy that I did have was just so scratched and beat up because it was the original copy that I had at that time. So it was scratched, beat up. It went from like 3 different CD cases being put in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like letting motherfuckers borrow it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, this is definitely one of them slaps right here, man.
Sure. Yeah, like this, like if you were to ask me like what song is this, and I would have gone like, is it called You Ain't Thug?
Yeah,
Because
see, I see that. I see that for sure.
I was never at a certain point, I would just stick the CD in the player and I wouldn't even look at track names anymore.
Yeah, we were kind of different era, man. It's kind of hard to, unless that's what you're set out to do. Like, of course, when I first got the album, I sat down and listened to it and looked at the case. But at the time, you know, you would either just be in my CD player, I put my fucking headphones on and press play and, you know, start my mission type shit, you know, and
yeah, I didn't really have time to sit there and like look at the booklet and analyze everything. It was just like put it in. Oh my god, this is great. I'm not skipping anything.
Exactly. Yeah, I like the little interludes they have on this album, man. Like, you know, we do have a couple of them infamous N-bomb drops or nigga bombs or whatever the fuck you want to call them. Like, these little interludes.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it, but I went through the lyrics last night and today, and yep, Blaze was still using that word at the time.
Well, for me at this time, shit, he gets a fucking pass if you ask me, man. Like he can say it all he wants because he can pull it off. He sounds the part. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it doesn't sound weird when he says it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like he's just, riffing or putting on an act. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like that would naturally come out of his mouth. And, and I got to say something too, man. For Isham being as, I won't say pro-black, I'd say militant. For him to be able to, allow that to happen, I strongly believe that Isham played a big role in getting them to stop saying the N-words, to getting them to stop saying nigga. But he allowed for Blaze to still say it, because I think Blaze even kept saying it even on the later albums, if I'm correct. I mean, I can't really confirm nor deny, but I'm pretty sure I've heard it even in recent times too. So, not that it's a big fucking deal, because personally, I don't care if I fuck with you. Say it, man. I mean, if you're not being disrespectful, say that shit. But I mean, there's a difference when you're putting on a show, all the, like, you ain't never said nigga in your life, and now you get around me and you want to say it, you know, and it's not even sounding sincere. It's not even sounding like that's a part of your vocabulary. Then all right, but if that's how you came up, that's where you grew up, man. Don't let me shame you from saying, you know, talking how you talk and being who you are. And I think that's who they were, and you know, I don't really think the industry was ready for white boys to be saying nigga, you know.
I wouldn't know really back then, but right now it's like, you know, all the 15-year-olds are gonna cry. So,
And you know that's crazy though, because even more in this era, even more in this time, I see more white kids and different races saying nigga more and more, and no one is bothered by it. But you know, it's kind of one of them hypocrisy type of things because you have. Yeah, no, I'm not even gonna get into it because it'll get
yeah,
political real quick in here. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I
But
certainly knew
it
some people who weren't black in New York City that just like a regular word, like every other word.
yeah,
And that's just, I guess
shit.
that's the neighborhood they grew up in, you know?
Yeah. See, Necro, and Ill Bill are actually a great example. They used to drop it a lot, but look at where they're from, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
In
they're from,
Brooklyn, I mean, that's how it is. It's just, I
yeah,
grew up
Brooklyn.
some in Brooklyn, but I wasn't from Brooklyn. So that never became part of my speech, but it certainly is out there. There's a whole different way of talking in Brooklyn.
Yeah, no, of course, like Brooklyn, East New York, you know, Brownsville, all that shit. Like, bro, like Brownsville. I remember when I went to New York for the first time. Like, we're gonna go to Brownsville, and they advised us not to because
Stay away from East New York also. I hear people say it's
yes,
not that bad.
stay the fuck away.
I don't go to East New York, guys.
Yeah, no, we listened. Shit, we listened because yeah, we weren't familiar with the lay of the land out there, man. Like New York was a completely different landscape to us, man. Like we were some West Coast dudes venturing
And
around
it,
in New York. You know what I'm saying?
and at that time, like Brooklyn hadn't even been hipsterified.
Oh yeah, no, it was still hood, nigga. Cats and shit walking down the street, dog. Like all kinds, like bro, like the bodegas, man. Like I do love the New York vibe, the East Coast vibe, dude. I've always, if I could live there at one point, I would have, but it's just so fucking expensive, bro. Like, and it's way different than the West Coast is. You can actually build and network, you know, your resources out in the West Coast. Like in New York, it kind of feels like if you don't know nobody, you kind of just you're kind of out of luck, man. You know, as far as. And then I remember the apartment that we were staying in, bro. It was in Flatbush, and nigga, it was
Yep.
infested with mice, bro. It was infested with mice, my nigga. Like it was disgusting, bro. I still to this day, you can roast me, make fun of me, whatever. I am scared shitless of mice, bro.
Mice?
Like, bro,
Oh man.
yes,
I'm
mice.
you know, those are my best friends. You know, they can come sit on my lap and, you know, eat cheese out of my fingernail anytime they want.
Oh man, you are something else, man. That's crazy, bro. If I seen a mouse right now, if I seen a mouse right now, bro, like you would just see a screen sitting here, bro. Like the headphones and bro, I probably might forget to take my headphones off, bro. You might see the laptop take a trip with me.
Dude, mice are scared of you. That's the thing about mice is they're actually scared of you. Now, rats, they don't care. I'm not cool with rats.
See, and I don't, you know, no one likes a rat anyway. Rats are just filthy. But see, I couldn't see. I don't even know what I would do if I seen a rat, bro. I swear to God, dude, I don't know because yeah, you're right. They don't care. They like if they're around you for a reason. They want something that you
They'll
got.
hiss at you. They'll stand up and
Ugh,
hiss at you.
man, that's fucking gross, nigga. Like, goddamn. Imagine a big ass rat just fucking standing up and hissing at you. I mean, I remember going to the subway, bro. Like, if you look down at the tracks, bro, you'd see at least a good 7 to 10 rats just mobbing around. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. And the
And
thing
it's
is,
just
they got signs up on the subway. They got signs up that says "Caution, Rodenticide." Guys, rats can't read, so I don't know why they got those signs up there.
yeah. I think it's just so people don't, lick anything because New Yorkers, man, like especially when they get off that crack, they're like, you don't know what the fuck is gonna happen on the subway.
It might straddle the wrong the wrong rail and try and lick the rail or hump the rail.
Yeah, like why are you making out with the rail, sir? Like why are you licking the window, sir? But see all that rodenticide, bro. Like lately, I've seen videos of people sitting on the subway and then they got a rat crawling on them.
Ugh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's plenty of videos out there nowadays because, everybody has a camera phone or smartphone or whatever. So I've seen videos of a homeless dude sleeping on the subway, bro, and there's a mouse or a rat just crawling all over him. And he's just sitting there, bro. I'm like, wow, bro, I would have fucking lost my mind. Bro, I would have been out of my body. You know what I'm saying? But hey, this is a slap right here, bro. Like, this shit reminds me of riding down the interstate, just mobbing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will say though, for this album being one of my top 10 at least, I feel like they should bring out a remastered version if they haven't, because I feel like a lot of the lows can be brought up just to make it dump a little bit more. Because, that's how Fritz mixes. If you listen to how he engineers, he does keep some bottom end. But I think, so if you listen to Mirror Mirror, that was heavy on bottom end, very low end. That shit bumped hard as fuck. But I don't know who kind of advised him to, bring the low end down or whatever. But over time, his sound started to, his engineering kind of produced a sound like this album sounded, which this album can use just a little bit more low end, the low end frequency. That's all it's missing, bro. But I mean, it still sounds good. You know what I'm saying? Niggas had EQs in their cars back in the day, so we can make it sound better. We can make it hit harder. But they need to bring out a remaster for sure. I think, at least.
I wouldn't hold your breath.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I don't think. Do you think Psychopathic has gave up all the masters to M&E by now, or do you think they're still holding on to some?
As far as Blaze goes, they might be holding on to Blaze. As far as I know, Blaze and ABK, they might just be holding on to that.
I could see that for sure. I could see that being plausible because the way Twisted did that, whole ultimatum shit, like we'll only play The Gathering if you give us the master to this album, and this album. I feel like that kind of might have burnt the bridge. Like, you motherfuckers ain't getting not one master from us again. Like, and I understand that, bro. Like, bro, don't try to treat me like I'm a donkey and dangle the carrot in front of my face like I'm a bitch or something, nigga. Like, oh man, that type of shit gets people slapped on a regular, man. Like,
right.
If we look at events like, damn, bro, like, why'd he get slapped for? Oh, because he was giving out ultimatums when he doesn't even have the room to. That's just my opinion. I don't really fuck with Twisted like that, and I'll scream it from the mountaintops. I don't give a fuck.
I kind of feel like that's just not my business. But to tell you the truth, I went over the whole MNE artist catalog, like the people that used to be in HOK and, the Crazy Clan and what was the other one? Two Crazy Devils. Don't listen to that stuff that they were making. It's not good. You can listen to it, but don't expect too much.
I tried, bro. I did listen to. I don't even know what project it was. I found it on YouTube, and I just wanted to see what Blaze sounded like as Crazy C. And I wasn't missing anything. There's a.
His voice wasn't that low back then.
It wasn't.
Remember that?
Yeah, no, it was not. It wasn't. I almost couldn't tell who was who. Real shit.
Right. Well, there was also somebody back then. Yeah, the guy who ended up rapping with ROC sounded just like ROC
Exactly.
on Half Breed or whatever.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell those two apart at all.
Where did I just see Half Breed at? Like, is he working with M&E currently? I feel like I just seen somebody post something.
Here's the thing.
Half-Breed.
Are you talking about the rapper Half Breed?
Yeah.
Okay, Half Breed was ROC and then Scraps. Half Breed was the two of them together. So there was
shit.
no.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. As you were. Okay, I understand now. I get it.
They sounded the same, but it was two different people.
I thought it was just one rapper, nigga. I swear to God, I thought it was just one person.
I thought that too until just like a couple months ago, I swear.
Hey, this is a slapper right here. I've always loved this beat. It was a little different, but it has like a driving feel to it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just going. You know what I'm saying?
It's unique, and this is pretty much the only track on the album that gets into the concept of Colton Grundy, and he's also Blaze, but then he's also a casket maker named Solomon. And I only know that because I just read the lyrics an hour ago, and I don't know, man. This is a really strange concept. I don't know why it has its own album, but hey, it's a great album.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like we were talking about, man. They kind of should have just stuck to one thing as far as his gimmick goes. Like they didn't really give time for his gimmick to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like they're always doing something different. Like now he's a casket maker named Solomon, and now he's Colton Grundy, and like.
Well,
I think this album
I'm not sure. Fun. I don't know what was going on because this was supposed to be Blaze's last album, wasn't it? Like he was going to make this album, and then he said he retired.
Yeah, that's what.
Do you remember that?
That's what was said at the time. But I had heard that he was just going to become Colton Grundy at this point. Like it was exit Blaze Your Dead Homie, enter Colton Grundy from here forward.
I don't know.
That's
real confusing.
Yeah, they were just doing too much, like Psychopathic is known to do. And I feel like, dude, I think around this time, because when did Pony Down, the Prelude, come out?
I think the next year, 2005. I feel like it was.
And see, man, they should have pushed that a little bit more and kind of did that in the same vein as this album. You know, I don't know, man. I feel like they should have came out literally back to back. That's how I would have did it. Because imagine that, bro. Like, see, I didn't really get to get my hooks into Pony Down just because it wasn't pushed as well as it should have been. You know,
well, they weren't wearing face paint now.
Yeah.
That was different.
But now I listen to Pony Down, bro. It's one of my favorites. You know, that's one thing I want to get into is ABK's history. That's one psychopathic artist that I don't know too much about.
I feel like he was always good. It's funny though, he didn't ever change. Like you listen to stuff that he was doing in 1995 and he still sounds like the same guy.
See, I need to hear some of that.
It's good.
Send me that, bro. Is that when he was going by J-Mo or whatever?
Yeah, it was him and Lavelle, and some of the best stuff. Like he's got this song with Lavelle called "Swallow My Goo." That's on like this Lavelle mixtape or whatever, and it's like old stuff what Lavelle was on, and it's exactly what you heard from ABK in 2003. He still sounds the same. And at first, I didn't really understand the appeal of ABK as well as I do now. He's got a lot of energy and a lot of maybe is charisma the right word?
Yeah, charisma.
He has the confidence and he has a real old school kind of flow, but I don't know. He's fun. He's fun to listen to. He's kind of a party rapper to me.
See, and that's the thing, bro. I think they should have. I feel like they're trying to give him that gangster image too, with like Hatchet
Mhm.
Warrior, bro. Like it was a little. It wasn't as hardcore as this album. See, this is like. Sorry to get back into the song, but now you can kind of hear Psychopathic take hold on this one song right here.
I think Jay wrote the chorus, and part of me thinks that because you can hear him on the chorus, but also that flow that he's using on the chorus ended up on that song last year. I'm ugly, ugly. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, there we go. See, and this was a year that Violent J was killing it too. This is one of my favorite eras for Jay. I like the Tales from the Lotus Pod J, like Bizarre, like Jekyll Brothers through like Tales. And then of course I love the Wraith, but then I feel like he just had so many transitions throughout that 10-year period, you know. I mean, like from like if we're gonna just call it that 10-year period from Carnival all the way to the Wraith, he went through so many different transitions. But my favorite Jay is probably from let's just say 99 through 04. I'll put it there.
That's perfect. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I would agree with that. I like his current era too. I think he leveled up. I say that a lot, but I really mean it.
See,
so yeah, I would agree.
See, you're right. Because at first I didn't understand what you were cooking because I was listening to Bloody Sunday and I was like, okay. But now I see exactly what you're talking about. And I now I understand what you're cooking over there because but all he has to do is stick with it. You know, fight through whatever he's going through, man, just stick to it. Because he's on his way back to being the Jay that we know, you know what I'm saying?
But we got The Gathering now that just got announced yesterday or the day before.
Yes, we fucking do, nigga, and you know I'm gonna be there. Gonna be there.
That's a big relief, and it's sooner than I expected. Last year was August. This year it's July.
And see,
so it's right around the corner.
From what I know, it's usually August, which kind of looked at it like July. Okay, so I think I might come out there for the 4th. I'm planning everything out right now. I already got my vacation time sheet out, and I'm figuring everything out, man. I'm trying to keep my eyes peeled. If you can help me too, man, watch the Gathering site for me, man, because I need to grab my tickets, whatever I need to grab, nigga. Like, I want the biggest package they got. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't fucking wait, bro. I am so excited. Like, about to link up with all the homies. We're finna have fun, bro. Just know that 17 Wayz is gonna be in the building. And I will say this right now. We're gonna have merch, we're gonna have all that shit that's to be discussed. But just know we're gonna be live in effect, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Also, I would like to give a special shout out to Deck One Dealt real quick while we have the chance, just because they've been representing for us so hardcore, man. Always mentioning us, you know what I'm saying, within their streams and shit. So I gotta make sure to mention them as well. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. I think they said something about doing a Psychopathics from Outer Space Part 3.
Oh yeah.
Maybe. I think that's what I've seen them say, you know. So they usually, you know, so they stream on Sundays around like noon their time. I don't know what time where everybody lives at, but just watch out for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Eastern time, typically around noon. Yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite Juggalo thing to watch on YouTube, and they do it every Sunday, and it's become like a
it's like church
ritual for me. It is. It's Juggalo church for me.
It's Juggalo. I swear it is. I swear, because bro, that's like because usually you know it's the weekend, so I'm sleeping in, you know, and the first thing I do, I make my coffee and I usually wait for Deck One Dealt to start streaming, man, and then I'm
I
topping it up with my players in the Discord. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I used to use my Sundays to. I would wait for Deck One Dealt and I'd start drinking, but I found out that show is just as fun to listen to when you're not drunk. Like I'd
Yeah,
smile ear to ear when they're on.
yeah, them
You
dudes are
know,
fucking funny, bro. Like I can't even front, man. They're definitely they definitely help put the battery in my back. Like not to get all sentimental and bitch made or anything, but without them, there definitely wouldn't be. I can't say that there wouldn't be a 17. No, I can say that there wouldn't really be a 17 Wayz right now because
because
that's how
that's
we
how we
linked
met
up.
too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, and they definitely put the battery in my back and showed me that this can be done. And look at us
and
now, 4 episodes deep.
we're we're out there. Us old school heads are still out there, and we may have gone through life, but we're back now, and this is a great time to be a juggler for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of, I don't know. I've kind of been looking at shit, just even through all the the Juggalo podcasts that are out here that are actually ran by older Juggalos that kind of fell off at a point, and now it seems like a lot of us are coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us are really tapping in again and really becoming involved and going to these events and making sure to get to the gathering and putting out representation. I think it's just, and especially at the 30-year mark of all times. You know what I'm saying? Like, then that's just a strange coincidence to me. But I truly believe that life is preordained and it was all meant to happen. And I'm just happy to see all this Juggalo harmony, especially a lot of us that were around, in the early days. I think there's some type of purpose we're supposed to serve. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, the Juggalo scene and culture is starting to take a turn. I don't want to sound like a hater, but I don't like some of the elements, but I'm not supposed to. We're not supposed to like everything. These youngsters have a different way of thinking, and that's okay. But I just want to make sure that, man, they're being careful, man. They have some dignity about themselves. They know that they don't
Sure.
have to partake in certain things just because somebody else is doing it. Because
Exactly.
we do live in a very being a follower is very big these days. It may seem as though being independent and being a free thinker is like, a lot of people try to take pride in that. But at the end of the day, they're really just
Yeah.
followers because they're taking somebody else's ideology and then just adding a certain piece of their opinion to it and then making it their own, which still at the same time, you are still being a follower. I can agree with things that you say, but I can only take wisdom from what you say and try to implement that. But I can't make that my ideology. I can't make that my intellectual property. I must reference you when I mention, what I'm saying, whatever opinion or whatever it is that you had spoken to me, whatever you conveyed to me. And I think that's the problem. No real individuality. They get the concept of individuality, but they're not really practicing it. But
Yeah,
I'm not bitching.
I think I know what you're saying. The way I would put it in a few words is we've gone past the point of being permissive, which is how it always was. We're just permissive. And
Yeah.
it's become like a new religion. And it's like you don't have to fall in line with all the stuff the juggalos are doing. You just
Yeah,
gotta
you
be
don't.
yourself.
You don't have to pop Zans. You don't have to do pills. You don't have to do none of that shit. That's what
Yeah.
made being a juggalo so special because we all came from different walks of life. I came from the streets, man. You came from New York, you know what I'm saying, with a completely different background, you know what I'm saying? Keesley and Carver, they're from the Midwest, suburban background, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that doesn't take nothing from them. that's what being a juggalo is about. I'm not like, oh man, y'all ain't some gangsters. Because at the end of the day, we're juggalos, bro. None of that shit, all that other shit is irrelevant. There's something that brought us all together, which is this carnival.
Any young person out there, don't think that you got to do anything in order to be a juggalo. Don't like, do juggalos do this or juggalos okay with that? Don't worry about it. It has nothing to do with anything.
Exactly.
It's as unpopular to say because I think people mean, I don't know what people mean or what they think I mean when I say it, but it really is about the music. You can say, well, no, because if I'm not even saying that you have to like certain artists, but that's the stuff that brought us together. That's what created. That's what made us realize that we were similar in this special way.
Yeah, you're right, but this is something I've also noticed too, man. A lot of people speak of people becoming juggalos for clout. We're in the clout era or whatever. But if I remember correctly, there are always juggalos like that. Fly by night juggalos. They're like ICP one day, and then they're big bad juggalo, and crazy into it, and then next year they're not, or next month they're not. So there's always going to be that element. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be that element. TikTok juggalos is what we'll call them today. I see it every day on Reddit. You know what I'm saying? Like there's
it's not a good idea to join anything,
especially if you don't really like the music. I've never understood that. I don't get
it. Yeah, what are you going to talk about?
Exactly. Yeah, that's like me being a Deadhead, bro, and I don't know shit about the Grateful Dead, but I just like the scene. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's kind of half-assing it.
I don't care how much you like Faygo. Straight up.
Real shit. That doesn't make you a juggalo, bro. I don't give a fuck what you say. But
people talk about Faygo way too much, honestly.
Yeah, Rich.
I mean, it's kind of a funny joke, but anyway.
But speaking of, oh shit, fucking.
Yeah. Oh, it's purple.
Yeah, the store up the street from me, man. They know that I'm a huge juggalo, and they actually listen to me when I tell them to order different flavors of Faygo. And they always give me like 5 of my choosing, you know what I'm saying, when they get it in. So that was grape. This is fruit punch.
That's an uncommon one.
Fruit punch, and then I got, let's see, orange pineapple.
Oh, last time I had that one, it was kind of flat.
Yeah, that's the thing about Faygo, man. I've never understood. I don't know if it's just because it's so
cheap. The dates. Check the dates.
Always check the dates. Check the dates because it will go flat relatively quick.
I learned that in Brooklyn. We didn't used to have Faygo in Brooklyn, but then I got some. It was flat.
Also, I finally got my package from Psychopathic.
Oh,
I ordered probably mid last week. I'm only, because shit's so cheap right now, and a lot of that shit is collectors. You never know when they're gonna take it and put it back in the vault. I feel like they're taking that Disney approach where they bring shit, they put shit in the vault, and then they'll bring certain things out, then they'll put it back in the vault, and then bring another thing out. So they have Carnival of Carnage on there for $17. Like I told you, bro, I took the miscellaneous money I had last week, bro, and went fucking psychopathic crazy for a second there. Let's see. See, man, so I got this Carnival Carnage. Let's see. There you go.
Official.
Hopefully I'm not chopping up at all, but yeah, this is the commemorative digipack. I kind of don't like the case. It's very flimsy and prone to water damage for sure.
Stick it in a Ziploc.
Yeah, for sure.
Stick it in a Ziploc.
That's the plan. And I like the fact that they gave us the original pressing instead of giving us the one. Do you remember the Island designed copy
with the missing tracks?
Yeah.
Oh,
like, I'm glad they God damn, they gave us this one. How the original look. If anybody knows the original Joker's cards, all but Riddlebox all look like this. They all had the little Joker, the little image printed in a circle on the CD like this. From Ringmaster. Oh, okay. I guess so the early Joker's cards, Ringmaster and Carnival of Carnage. And then Riddlebox, of course, that was distributed by a bigger label, so they did a different design. Riddleboxes always look the same, but there are differences, and I'm not going to get into that because that's like collector talk. One day, maybe I'll start doing a separate segment, to point out certain things. But I also got a copy of Hell's Pit vinyl. It was only $25, so I'm just trying to keep my collection growing while I can, grabbing certain things that I didn't get a chance to grab back in the day. I got a copy of Black Rain, another one, because my original one, man, it's beat. I've had that since 04.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's old, you know what I'm saying? And that's gonna stay the play copy, you know what I'm saying? So now I have a copy that's, just on standby just in case, because yes, I am a collector, but I believe in actually, it's music. Play that shit, man. Like, it's music. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand the concept of collecting shit, but I feel like all the collectible shit is already spoken for, like the Fat Sweaty Betty single. And you never know when ICP or Psychopathic will put out some more of that rare shit from the 90s again. And you never know what might be at the gathering this year. So
hopefully this year they got hopefully they got some fuck off shirts at the gathering and some Super Bowls and Poo and
yeah, just as long as they got some cool merch, man. Like, I'm mostly interested in CDs. I got mostly everything. I think I need a Tales from the Lotus Pod original. The red version.
But they're not ever gonna let that out of the vault. That's their zippity doodah.
Yeah, I know. I got to get that. I mean, it's all over fucking Discogs right now. I don't know. I haven't pulled the trigger. I kind of don't like. I don't like. Okay, man. I'm gonna sound like a bitch, but I don't like the whole occult seance thing about that anymore. You know what I'm saying? I know I don't have to read that shit or nothing, but I don't really. I'm really big on energy and shit like that. So
you can smudge it. You can burn the white sage on it, and
you're right. You're right. I do have white sage too. I do have a nice stock of it right now.
Could put it in a big old bushel of that stuff.
I might do that. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, brother.
No. Why would you do that?
Why would I do what now? Sorry.
Smudge the. You said
just because I feel like there's just a lot of negativity around that album, and I'm not just going off of what Jay said in the book and all whatever, but there's just a lot of bad energy around that album, man. You think about it, then there's like seance instructions, and a lot of the subject matter within that album doesn't really coagulate with how I live my life now. Just after all the experiences I've had with spirituality and stuff like that. Doesn't mean, hey, dude, that's still a classic fucking album, and I would still love to own it. But as far as it just doesn't mesh with who I am now. I used to be really big into that shit back in the day when I didn't really know who I was. Now, I'm not saying that I'm just a born again Christian, because obviously I would not be doing this podcast with you. But, you know, there's just certain things, like I've told you, I don't stay away from, but there's just certain things I don't allow in to that I don't consume as much as I used to.
Yeah, the way I look at that album, at least, is that they did try and put like occult references in it, but they did not know what they were talking about. Like, they don't even say some of the words right.
Which is even more dangerous, if you ask me, man. It's like playing with a Ouija board and you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't know who you're allowing in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, you know, that's even more reckless if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not 100% studied up on, you know, the occult as much as I thought I was, because I was one of them dudes too that, you know, just thought, you know, like 666, I'm a whoopty whoop. Like, no. I'm glad I was able to wake up. You know what I'm saying? Like, the true Satanism isn't at all what we all think it is, or what has been made popular. People don't even know, like demonology and shit like that, man. And you know, it goes way deeper than Anton LaVey's Satanism. You know, the Satanic Bible. You know, that people think that's the real Satanic Bible. There is more out there, but I will not lead you down that path. You're gonna have to go somewhere else for that information.
It seemed like a bunch of geeks to me.
Yeah, I mean, they can be equated to, you know, like the people who are ugly, so then they turn gay. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Oh man, don't know, bitches don't want me, so now I'm gonna be gay because maybe dudes might want me now. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it looks. I don't know. I feel like it's people that have that fall from grace, they lose their faith, and then, you know, they try to find a different route, you know what I'm saying, looking for answers, which we all do from time to time, you know. We all got to find ourselves at some point. That's why I love Found so much. So,
well, what I don't understand about Satanists is that, you know, you talk to them and they're like, oh, well, actually, we're not evil. And it's like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing then? That doesn't make any sense.
They have an explanation that might make more sense than I think it does, but
I don't think it makes sense whatsoever, because you're supposed to be representing the Prince of Darkness, the King of Darkness, you know, like all elements, you know, Beelzebub, Leviathan, shit like that, and you're saying that you're not evil? What? That doesn't make any fucking sense. I do understand the point. You know, what I've learned so far is, you know, self-indulgence and looking out for self before anything, you know, like, you know, just being real self-indulgent and selfish basically is their main fucking message. But that
I guess to them, like they're the light is what they think. I don't know.
Okay, I mean, you could even get that from Christianity too, because, you know, we are all made in the image of God. So it's like, okay, that's kind of the same shit. So I don't know. I don't think that, you know, hey, whatever floats their boat is cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't shit on any type of religion or beliefs, because if that's what you have faith in and that's what you believe in and that's what you believe, and I give you credit for having faith, that's cool. But it just seems like people just trying to find somewhere to belong to. And if that's the case, I just tell them to come to the Dark Carnival, man. You know what I'm saying? But even then, the Dark Carnival has to find you. That's what I believe, at least. You know what I'm saying? That's just my beliefs. You know.
Oh, I don't know what I think anymore. I just know that it's scary out there, and there's a part of me that doesn't even want to know anymore, because you find out, you regret it.
Well, that's all you can do. That's another thing too. I will stress is that we just have to keep living our fucking life, man. We can't, the people who are like, it's sad when people are preppers, right? They prep
Oh
and
yeah,
prep and prep. They prep for something that they don't know for sure that they'll ever experience.
yeah. It is a good idea to know what you're doing in life. You might want to learn how to skin an animal or something someday, or at least
for
change a
sure. But
tire.
as
I don't
far
even
as
know how to do that.
see, I have a friend, right? I have a friend. He is so consumed with conspiracy theories that he lives in fear to where he can't really live his life because he's so concerned with what the government's doing.
That's sad. I don't even watch the news anymore.
And I understand, but see, the thing is, the news sources that he follows, bro, it's all propaganda based shit. You know what I'm saying? I understand that news is gonna do that regardless, but the sources, the specific sources that he's taking from, that he's drawing from, that he's consuming,
that's even worse.
Are straight conspiracy theory. Like, I remember, what was it, last year in like, I think it was like September, when he told me like, oh dude, by December, no more debit cards and no more money, no more cash. I was like, okay, where'd you read that at? And he often sends me these weird, YouTube clips and shit. But, I told him straight up, like, okay, I don't think that's going to happen by December. But hey, if that's what happens, it is what it is. It just is what it is. If something, none of that shit that is being talked about is anything that we can control. I can't control what the government does. I can't even control what my next door neighbor is doing. So that's not my fucking business. Until it starts affecting me, then okay, then I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But as far as that shit, it's good to know what's going on. But I will not let what's going on control me, as long as I can have control of my day-to-day life. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to be, I do have my certain political stances, and maybe one day we'll talk in depth about it. But I don't want to.
Maybe that's a different podcast.
I think that's a different podcast.
Yeah. So next week's show.
Yeah.
Are you ready for that phase of this episode? Are we?
Yeah. We're about wrapped up, brother.
So I was thinking, I did say, "Fuck Everybody," the Nodus album, and then that didn't happen because Bloody Sunday came out.
Right.
So you want to go back and do that?
Yeah, we can go back and do that. That sounds good. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll, of course, like we always do, we'll just riff back and forth during the week. Hop on a couple phone calls or whatever, and we'll figure out. But that's 9 times out of 10, man. If that's what you want, that's what we will do, and I'm down with it.
I feel like I said it, so I got to do it now. But I'm also thinking maybe it could be one of these Esham albums that I'm not too familiar with, like Venus Flytrap or
oh shit,
something one of these recent Esham albums that I haven't played a million times.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like we said before, man, we could do whatever the fuck we want. But yeah, no, I plan on, if that's what we're gonna do, that's what we're gonna do. But we'll get it all sorted out this week. So I think we're about done here. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. Once again, this has been episode 4 of the 17 Wayz podcast. This is 007, the James Bond of the wicked shit, signing off. And yeah, go ahead, brother.
And then I'm Mr. Reef. I hope you enjoyed the show.
Yes, please like, share, and subscribe. Once more, I'm out of here. Peace out.
Ta-ta.